A 72-year-old woman, healthy, independent, and full of life, never made it to breakfast. Her name was Margaret. She went to bed like usual the night before. Nothing felt wrong, but sometime between waking up and walking down the hall, something went terribly wrong. Her mistake? It was something subtle, something most people her age, and maybe you too, do every single day without a second thought. But for older adults, these small habits can carry big consequences. Margaret's story isn't an isolated one. Across the country, seniors wake up and begin their day in ways that quietly challenge their aging bodies. Things that were harmless at 40 can be dangerous at 70. And the saddest part, they don't even realize it. This story isn't just about Margaret. It's about what happens to so many people after 70, and what you can do to prevent it. Let me tell you about 4 morning habits that often go unnoticed, until it's too late. Mistake 1, rising too fast. It's 6:42 a.m. Edward's alarm chimes softly. He opens his eyes, stretches his arms, and, as he's done for the last 40 years, swings his legs over the edge of the bed and stands up. Only this time, the room spins. He stumbles. His knees buckle slightly. For a second, everything goes white. He catches himself on the bedpost just in time. He sits back down, shaken, heart racing. What Edward didn't know was that his body, still adjusting from hours of lying flat, wasn't ready. His blood pressure dropped. It's a condition called orthostatic hypotension, and it's more common in older adults than most realize. Blood pools in the lower half of the body during sleep. When you stand up too fast, your brain doesn't get enough blood for a moment, and down you go. That's how falls happen. And for seniors, a fall can mean more than a bruise. It can mean broken hips, long hospital stays, or worse. Had Edward taken just 30 extra seconds, stretched in bed, moved his fingers and toes, sat up slowly, let his body catch up, he could have avoided the scare entirely. Mistake 2. Skipping water. A few doors down from Edward lives James. Every morning, he wakes up, grabs his glasses, and heads straight to the kitchen. Coffee first. Always. It's been his habit since he was 20. But what James didn't realize is that after 7 to 8 hours of sleep, his body is dehydrated. While he rested, his lungs kept breathing, his skin kept perspiring, and fluids quietly left his body. That means thicker blood, sluggish circulation, higher strain on the heart. And when coffee, naturally dehydrating, is the first thing to hit the system, it only makes things worse. Over time, James started noticing brain fog in the mornings. His joints ached. He felt slow, mentally and physically. It wasn't age, it was dehydration. His doctor suggested something simple: drink a glass of water right after waking up. That small shift, it brought back his clarity. The stiffness eased, his energy started to return. Water first, then coffee. A small change, but one that can literally improve blood flow to your brain and protect your heart. Mistake 3. Coffee on an empty stomach. Now let's talk about Robert. He's 75, a widower, spends his mornings watching the sunrise from his porch with a mug of strong black coffee. No breakfast, just coffee. It's his moment of peace. But peace doesn't always mean health. Over the years, Robert developed frequent heartburn, then stomach cramps. Eventually, he started waking up already feeling anxious and shaky. He blamed age, maybe even stress. But the truth, coffee on an empty stomach was the real culprit. See, in the early hours, your cortisol, your stress hormone, is already elevated. Adding caffeine to an empty system only spikes it higher. And coffee's acidity. It can irritate the stomach lining, especially when there's no food to buffer it. All it took for Robert to feel better was a small snack first. Half a banana, some toast, a few almonds. Then coffee. He still watches the sunrise. He just does it with something in his belly. The difference? His mornings no longer start with a stomachache. Mistake 4. Skipping movement before the first step. Let's circle back to Margaret. She wasn't reckless. She didn't forget her medication. She didn't push herself too hard. She simply stood up and started walking too soon. Her muscles were stiff, her balance not quite there. She didn't stretch. She didn't flex her ankles. She didn't let her body warm up. In her younger years, that wouldn't have mattered. But now, every muscle, every joint, every nerve needs a little wake-up call. Seniors often underestimate how important it is to activate the body before movement. A few arm circles, a few steps in place, maybe even some deep breathing while seated. It's not about exercise, it's about reminding your body that it's time to move. That 1 or 2 minutes could be the difference between a smooth morning and a dangerous fall. Margaret's passing was sudden, quiet, preventable. She didn't know her body needed more time to adjust, but now you do. Mistake 5. Forgetting morning medication. Not far from Margaret's town, there's Carol, 76th Independent, fiercely proud. Every night before bed, she lines up her morning pills next to a glass of water. But one morning, just one, she felt fine and figured she could delay them until after breakfast. She got distracted, forgot entirely. By lunch, her hands were trembling, her vision blurred, her speech slowed. She was rushed to the ER with skyrocketing blood pressure. What Carol didn't know was that her medication needed to be taken at a specific hour, consistently, to keep her levels stable. That small oversight triggered a dangerous chain reaction. Forgetting once can feel harmless, but for many seniors, medications are time-sensitive lifelines. A pill box, a phone reminder, a sticky note on the fridge. Simple tools, but they protect the body when memory, even momentarily, doesn't. Mistake 6. Going without glasses or hearing aids. Then there's Walter, 81, a retired teacher who loves his morning paper. One day, rushing to the front porch without his glasses, he missed a step. He tried to catch himself, but the paper scattered across the sidewalk and he landed hard. His shoulder dislocated, his hip bruised. He hadn't forgotten his glasses. He just didn't think he needed them for one quick step. But the eyes and ears are our body's GPS. They help us navigate space, detect danger, and stay upright. And after 70, even the smallest misstep, literally, can change everything. Now, Walter keeps his glasses and hearing aids beside his bed. First thing on, last thing off. Not out of fear, out of wisdom. Mistake 7. Ignoring bathroom urges. Gloria, 79, used to hold it in. Always had. Her generation was taught to wait, to prioritize others, to be polite. And that habit stuck. But holding your bladder first thing in the morning, especially after hours of sleep, can strain the urinary system, increase the risk of infection, and in some cases trigger dangerous spikes in blood pressure. Gloria learned the hard way after waking up lightheaded and fainting on her way to the bathroom, her bladder painfully full, her system overwhelmed. Now her first stop in the morning is non-negotiable. It's a quiet act of self-respect, of listening to her body before the world. Mistake 8. Skipping breakfast altogether. Then there's Alan, An old Navy man, still wakes up before sunrise, still doesn't eat until noon. "That's how I've always done it," he says. But recently, he noticed he felt faint halfway through his morning walk. Weak, shaky. Sometimes his hands would tremble as he poured his tea. His doctor explained that as we age, our ability to regulate blood sugar weakens. Fasting too long can lead to low energy, confusion, or even falls. Alan didn't need a big meal, just something to steady his system. Now he eats a boiled egg and a slice of toast before lacing up his walking shoes. And just like that, the shakiness vanished. Mistake 9. Turning up the thermostat. Too high every morning, Dolores liked it warm. Very warm. The first thing she did when she woke up was turn the heater up full blast. But that dry, hot air, it started affecting her sinuses. Then her breathing. Her skin cracked, her nose bled. Older bodies don't regulate temperature the same way. And overly warm, dry air can silently strain the respiratory system and trigger dizziness, especially after rising. With a little guidance, Dolores set the thermostat to a gentler temperature and began using a humidifier. Now she breathes easier, sleeps better, wakes up without that dry, dizzy feeling. Mistake 10. Jumping into the day without checking inward. Finally, there's Sam. Every morning, he made a to-do list before his first yawn. Yard work, groceries, bills, appointments. He charged into the day like it was a race, until one day his body hit back. He felt tight in the chest, winded after just walking to the mailbox. An ambulance was called. The tests showed stress, exhaustion, a heart working harder than it should. What Sam had ignored for years was the most important morning task of all, checking in. Not your calendar, not your chores, but with yourself. How am I feeling today? Where does it hurt? What do I need? Now, Sam still makes lists, but not before sitting quietly for 5 minutes, breathing, listening, letting his body speak first. The morning is sacred. 10 small habits, 10 stories, none of them dramatic, none of them loud. But in quiet moments, these choices echo. For seniors, maybe for you, the way you start your day can define your safety, your clarity, your energy, and in some cases, your future. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. So tomorrow morning, pause, honor your body, listen to it, support it. Because every day you wake up is a gift, and how you rise can protect everything that comes after.